Doctor's alert. The hidden risks of over-exercising after 70 and smarter alternatives. Picture this. You're 73, feeling like a total champ, tying up your sneakers for what feels like the 100th workout of the week. The sun's barely up, but you're ready to hit the gym, pound the pavement, or maybe crank out some push-ups in your living room. Because you've got that fire, that drive that says, I'm not slowing down for anyone. You're thinking, more is better, right? If I keep pushing, I'll stay strong, sharp, and unstoppable. Well, hold that thought for just a sec, because today we're diving into something you might not see coming. A doctor's alert about the hidden risks of overexercising after 70. Yep, you heard me right. Too much of a good thing can sneak up on you like a plot twist in a movie, and it's not just about a little soreness or needing an extra coffee to get through the day. But don't start panicking or picturing me wagging a finger at you, telling you to trade your dumbbells for a rocking chair. Oh no, this isn't about giving up. It's about getting wise. We're going to unpack what's really happening in your body when you push too hard, why it can backfire in ways you'd never expect, and here's the part you'll love. Some smarter, science-backed alternatives that'll keep you strong, energized, and living your best life well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So grab your favorite mug, kick back for a bit, and let's have a real talk about how to move smarter, not harder. If you're vibing with this already, drop a quick 1 in the comments. I'd love to know you're here riding this wave with me. Now let's set the scene. Exercise, it's your superpower. No one's arguing that. It's the magic sauce that keeps your heart ticking strong, your muscles ready to roll, and your mood lifted even when the world's throwing curveballs. After 70, staying active is hands down one of the best ways to dodge the stuff we all want to avoid. Those creaky joints that groan when you stand up, the weakness that makes carrying a laundry basket feel like a workout, or that foggy feeling where you're just not as with it as you used to be. You've probably seen the headlines or heard your doc say it. Move it or lose it. And you're on board. You're out there walking, lifting, stretching, doing your thing. But here's where the story takes a turn. Your body isn't the same machine it was back in your 40s or 50s. And that's not me throwing shade. It's just how the game changes. Doctors are raising the red flag because they're seeing more folks in their 70s and 80s rolling into clinics with stuff like torn ligaments, burnout that won't quit, and even heart scares, all tied to one sneaky culprit. Overdoing it. Think of it like this. Your body's a classic car. It's still gorgeous, still powerful, but if you're revving the engine full throttle every single day without popping the hood to check the oil or letting it cool off, something's going to sputter. Or worse, stall out. Over-exercising after 70 can stress your joints in ways that creep up slow, strain your heart when you least expect it, and drain your energy tank until you're running on fumes. I'm not saying you're fragile. Heck no, you're a force. But there's a difference between challenging yourself and charging headfirst past what your body's ready to handle. Let's bring this home with a real story. Meet Janet, 72. The kind of woman who'd make you jealous with her energy. She was the queen of her local fitness group, spinning classes 3 times a week, pumping iron with weights that make a 20-something sweat, and sneaking in power walks on her so-called off days. Her friends called her a machine. She was the living proof that age is just a number. But then the cracks started showing. Her knees began aching, not just a little stiffness, but a deep, nagging pain that stuck around. She'd crash on the couch by 3 p.m., too wiped to enjoy her grandkids' visits. And one morning, mid-spin class, she felt a sharp twinge in her shoulder that turned into weeks of barely being able to lift a grocery bag. She went to her doctor, expecting a pep talk about grit, but instead got a reality check. Janet, you're overcooking it. Your body's screaming for a break. Turns out, all that intensity wasn't building her up. It was breaking her down, little by little. Sound familiar at all? Maybe you felt that extra tiredness lately, or a joint that's grumbling louder than usual. It's not weakness. It's your body tapping you on the shoulder, saying, hey, I love the hustle, but can we talk? So what's going on under the hood? Why does over-exercising hit different after 70? Let's break it down, because understanding this is your ticket to dodging the traps. First up, recovery time. Back in your 30s, you could crush a workout, sleep it off, and wake up ready to roll again. Your muscles patched up those tiny tears from lifting or running like it was no big deal. Boom, good as new. But as you age, that repair crew slows down. It's not slacking off, it's just got a bigger workload. After 70, your body needs more hours, or even days, to rebuild those muscle fibers, replenish energy stores, and flush out the stress from a hard session. If you keep hammering away without giving it that breather, it's like asking a construction team to finish a house while you're still tearing down walls. They can't keep up, and the foundation starts to crumble. Janet didn't realize her spin marathon schedule was leaving her muscles in a constant state of under-repair, and that's when the aches and fatigue piled on. Then there's your joints, those trusty hinges that have carried you through decades of adventures. They're champs, but they're not invincible. Over the years, the cartilage that cushions them thins out a bit, and the synovial fluid that keeps them slick dries up just enough to make a difference. High-impact moves, like pounding the pavement for miles or jumping into burpee after burpee, can grind on that cartilage, spark inflammation, and leave you stiff as a board. Think about running on concrete every day. Each step's a mini shockwave, and over time, your knees or hips start waving the white flag. Same goes for heavy lifting without perfect form. Your shoulders and back might not complain today, but they'll send you the bill later. Doctors see it all the time. Folks who swear they're fine until a joint locks up or a tendon snaps, all because they didn't ease off the gas. And let's not skip your heart. It's the MVP of this whole operation. At 70 plus, it's still pumping strong, but it's not as wild about sudden, intense demands as it was in your youth. Picture this. You're midway through a hardcore cardio blast, heart rate spiking like you're sprinting from a bear. In your 20s, it'd shrug that off and settle back down. Now, it might take longer to chill out, and if you're piling on those spikes day after day, you're flirting with strain. Or worse, a scare that lands you in the ER. Over-exercising can push your ticker into overdrive, especially if you're not warming up right, or you've got sneaky stuff like high blood pressure in the mix. It's not about being weak, it's about respecting that your engine's got a different rhythm now. But here's the sneaky part. Over-exercising doesn't always show up with a neon sign saying, "Stop." Sure, you might get a pulled muscle or a twinge that screams injury, but sometimes it's quieter, trickier. Ever feel that bone-deep tiredness that lingers no matter how much coffee you chug? Or maybe your mood's off. You're snapping at the dog or feeling flat when you used to be all sunshine? That's your body whispering, or maybe shouting, that it's had enough. Take Dave, 75, a guy who lived for his daily 6-mile runs. Rain, shine, snow, he was out there, logging miles like a pro. Everyone envied his stamina. But then he started dragging. Afternoons felt like a slog. He was grumpy over nothing, and even with those long runs, he'd wake up feeling like he'd barely slept. He chalked it up to getting old until his doc dropped the bomb. "Dave, you're overtraining. Your body's stuck in stress mode." Too much exercise was flooding him with cortisol, the stress hormone, and it was tanking his energy, his sleep, everything. He wasn't injured, but he was burned out, and that's a risk we don't shine a spotlight on enough. Now, before you start imagining a future glued to the couch, binge-watching reruns and waving goodbye to your active life, let me hit the brakes right there. This isn't about quitting. It's about flipping the script. Doctors aren't telling you to ditch exercise. They're begging you to rethink it. You can still build muscle, boost your stamina, and feel like $1,000,000 without running yourself ragged. Let's dive into some smarter alternatives that work with your body, not against it. Because you deserve to thrive, not just survive. First up, trade some of those high-impact sweat fests for low-impact gold mines. Swimming's a standout. It's a full-body party that's gentle on your joints and gets your heart pumping without the pounding. Picture gliding through the water feeling strong and free, no stress on your knees or hips. Or hop on a bike, stationary or cruising the streets. It's smoother than running, but still fires up your legs and torches calories. Janet, our spin class warrior, swapped 2 of her hardcore rides for pool time. And the results? Her knees quit their whining, her energy bounced back, and she felt like she could take on the world again. Strength's next on the list, because you don't need to sling massive weights to stay powerful. Bodyweight moves are your new best friend. Think chair squats where you stand up and sit back down slow and controlled, or wall push-ups that tone your arms without taxing your shoulders. Grab some light dumbbells if you're feeling it, or even a couple soup cans from the pantry. Seriously, it works. The key's not about maxing out. It's about steady, solid reps with form that make a trainer nod in approval. Meet Barb, 74, who used to love her heavy gym sessions. After a hip flare-up sidelined her, she switched to resistance bands and simple stuff she could do in her kitchen. Leg lifts while the coffee brewed, arm curls during the news. Months later, she was stunned. Her legs felt sturdier, her posture was on point, and she didn't miss the gym one bit. These aren't lightweight in a boring way. They're smart, hitting what you need without frying what you've got. And don't sleep on walking. It's the unsung hero of staying fit. I know, it sounds like your grandkid's idea of a workout, but stick with me. Brisk walking, where you're moving with purpose, not dawdling past shop windows, can match a jog for heart perks and calorie burn, all without the joint drama. Spice it up with a hill or two, or throw in some speed bursts. 30 seconds fast, then slow it down. Repeat. Picture Ed, 76, a guy who ran marathons in his 50s and scoffed at walking as too soft. His doc dared him to try it. 30 minutes a day, brisk enough to chat but not belt out a tune. Ed came back smirking. His stamina soared, his knees thanked him, and he even shed a stubborn 5 pounds. It's not about dialing back. It's about finding what lights you up without dimming your spark. Recovery's your secret weapon here, so don't skimp on it. Your body's begging for a rhythm. Say 3 or 4 active days a week, mixed with chill stuff like stretching or yoga on the others. Yoga's a sleeper hit, trust me. It's not just for trendy folks in stretchy pants. It builds flexibility, strengthens your core, and settles your mind in a way that feels like a reset. Take Sue, 71, who rolled her eyes when her son dragged her to a class. She figured she'd nap through it. Now, she's hooked. Her back's looser, she can bend without groaning, and she sleeps like a baby. Pair that with good rest. Aim for 7 to 8 hours a night, and you're giving your body the green light to rebuild and recharge. Pacing's huge too. If you're the go big or go home type, try this instead. Dial back the intensity, not the effort. Warm up longer. 5–10 minutes of easy movement to wake everything up. Cool down right, stretch those legs, roll those shoulders, and listen when your body whispers. That's plenty. It's like tuning a guitar. Too tight, the strings pop. Too loose, no music. Find that sweet spot where you're working but not wrecked. Hydration's your sidekick here. Don't slack on it. Your muscles and joints need water to stay limber, especially now. Keep a bottle close and sip all day, not just when you're dripping sweat. Imagine this. You're 77, striding through the park with a bounce in your step, tossing a frisbee with your grandkids, or lugging a suitcase up the stairs without a huff. That's the win of moving smarter. Living better, not just longer. You don't need to prove you're a beast by overdoing it. The real brag is staying in the game, feeling awesome, and loving every minute. Next time you're itching to push past your edge, pause and think, is this lifting me up or wearing me out? If it's the latter, pivot. Hit the pool, take that walk, stretch it out. Your body's been your ride or die this long. Treat it like the rock star it is. If you're still here soaking up these nuggets, toss a 2 in the comments. I'd love to hear what's resonating. What's one switch you're mulling over? Maybe trading a run for a swim or sneaking some yoga into your routine? Spill it below. Your take might kickstart someone else's next step. If this chat's hitting the spot, smash that like button, tap subscribe, and ring that bell so you're in on what's next. Let's keep this rolling. Catch you in the comments.